Previously, we discussed what rate locks were all about, and as a quick summary, that they are locked, interest rates are locked for a period of time, roughly matching the period of time it takes to close the transaction. This is designed to protect the borrower when rates are anticipated to go up or there's uncertainty in the market where they don't want to take the risk of them possibly going up. Sometimes we get in the middle of a rate lock period and rates have dropped. And in those cases, I always get the question from the borrower as to how they can renegotiate their rate lock downward. So let me give a brief summary about rate lock negotiations or renegotiations in this case. As a general rule, the interest rate that you locked at, which was designed to protect you on the upside, is also a commitment that the lender's making, probably to Freddie Mac or Fannie Mae, to deliver that loan at a specified interest rate. The lender actually goes out and pays money to hedge that interest rate in the marketplace. So there is a cost involved to the lender for locking in a loan for a borrower. It's not a cost that's passed along to the borrower, but it's one that exists nevertheless. So if interest rates drop, and let's say they just drop a little bit, the lender typically is going to ask that the borrower continue on with the transaction at the rate that they locked at originally. In a sense, it's only fair in the marketplace of business that if an agreement was made that I'll deliver this interest rate for this period of time to you, Mr. Borrower, to protect you on the high side, that the borrower has some sense of obligation or feeling of fairness that, okay, rates dropped a little bit, but I wasn't in a position of having any risk presented to me on the upside, and the lender deserves to have me deliver on what I promised to do for them as well. Now, if rates drop a lot, it becomes a whole different story. Many times, if it drops a lot, the lender realizes that despite a borrower's integrity, there is going to be a point at which the borrower says, wait a minute, this is just too big of a savings for me not to pursue. So the lender has a choice at that point to either offer renegotiated terms or to let that borrower kind of leave and walk and go to a different lender. And because they have so much invested in the loan at that point, most lenders will typically try to preserve the business. Now, renegotiations are not a guaranteed thing at all, and there's different calculations for how renegotiations may take place. One of the things to consider is that it's not wise for a lender to allow the rate to drop down to the current market, because everybody would want to switch out of their locks for even the most slight variance in interest rates if they allowed that to happen across the board. And to cover their costs of the hedging fee, there is a cost that they're going to want to incorporate into the rate lock renegotiation. So many times what I see is that the borrower and the lender kind of take a look at the original rate lock and the current market, and the renegotiated rate ends up being somewhere kind of in between. And there's specific calculations that different lenders have that it's not wise to go into. But there is a process for being able to renegotiate rates if there is a big movement. And it's one of those things that a borrower should be aware of or ask the question initially when they first lock if they think there's any chance whatsoever that they may be facing lower interest rates during the lock period and want to know what to expect. So hopefully that gives you a little bit better idea of the inner workings of the loan process once again, so you can be more educated and ask better questions as you enter into it. Thank you.